Okay, so let's end the show on a lighter note with this week's
Idiot Extraordinaire.
Are you a sorcerer or something? How the hell do you do that live?
That was recorded. I can't figure out how to do the echo thing live, so that was recorded.
I was going to say, what magic is this?
No, I'm actually God. I haven't just told you yet.
Oh, well,
trying to keep it a secret.
But then tell the creationist stop flagging your videos then.
Okay, so you know those cases where a cop comes to a home because of some plant or a parking ticket or whatever and ends up shooting the family dog?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a case with a happier and much funnier ending. A Riverside County, California sheriff's deputy, whose name has not been released, so I'm just going to call him Deputy Barney Fife, was going to a home to serve an eviction notice when a pit bull started barking at him, and Barney went for his gun and shot himself in the leg.
Oh.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Internet's over, folks. Go home.
We might as well pack it in. Yeah, according to Deputy Armando Munoz, quote, a dog came at the deputy in an aggressive manner. The deputy, attempting to defend himself, pulled his service weapon, shot one round, and injured himself in the leg. He's okay. He has non-life-threatening injuries. And he also followed that up by saying that the deputy would only be allowed to have another bullet if he kept it in his shirt pocket. Oh, please tell me you're getting this reference.
Oh, no, I'm not.
The Andy Griffith Show? Barney Fife, Don Knotts' character?
No, you just went over everyone's head. Everybody's head.
Shane, that
Even
show
my kids have seen the Andy Griffith Show.
I haven't watched Andy Griffith's Show in like 12 years, man.
Fun fact, I've never watched it.
Oh, it's good, but, you know, it's really dated. It's cheesy, but eh.
Yeah.
But honestly, I just look at this, that's just amazing. Shot himself trying to kill a dog who was supposedly threatening his life, which I'm honestly just, yeah, right. The dog was probably just looking at him. He's like, oh my God, dog! Pow! Oh, my leg!
Yeah. Well, and the pit bull ended up not attacking him, and of course Munoz says that's because the dog was startled by the gunfire. It couldn't be that the dog was just never going to attack him in the first place.
Yeah, because, you know, pit bulls, I think it's because people think pit bull, they think, oh my God, evil, managing dog, or a bland, boring rapper, what have you. But people have this whole misconception. If you raise a dog correctly, things will go up right. But, you know, but when you raise them wrong, well, they become really violent.
You pretty much have to mistreat them. And
Yeah.
when KNBC arrived at the scene, they got footage of the pit bull in question, which looks to me like a fairly small one, actually, as far as pit bulls go. She was playing with children, and her name is Precious.
No.
Oh, that's just precious.
My Precious!
Let me just say, as a pit bull owner myself, screw anybody who says that pit bulls are vicious animals. Seriously.
Oh, you got a pit bull too?
I do. I have a pure American pit.
Cool.
Beautiful dog. Very lovely. Loves people. Absolutely loves people. Wouldn't hurt a fly.
Mm-hmm.
And
How's that pit bull of yours doing since we talked to you last?
I think she thinks her name is Damn It Dog right now. But doing good. She's sitting here right next to me, actually.
I think, honestly, like I said, you know, I'm not really much of a dog person. Because, you know, I get, like, you know, very frightened because, you know, I see dogs, you know, doing very nasty stuff. But, you know, I can tolerate them. But when I look at the video, it's like, it's not the worst dog in the world. She's happy and everything else.
Well,
but again,
the dog's owner did say that the dog barked at the cop, but guess what? That's what dogs do. I mean, someone comes knocking on the door, and my Chihuahua barks at them ferociously while he's hiding under the table.
Oh, my uncle has a Cotton Talor, which is a very tiny dog, and that thing will bark at anything, whether it moves or doesn't move. It barks if you come, it barks if you go, it barks if you're here, it barks if you're there, it barks every damn where.
It barks. But you know what? That's like you said, Shane. That's what dogs do, and I guarantee you the dog was just barking and he was probably looking playful, and the cop was like, "Oh my God, Brupple, shoot, and bam. That's what probably happened. Of course,
it's sad the fact that at this point now, a freaking pizza delivery guy has to put up with more dangers than a cop apparently now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not like the pizza delivery people don't have to deal with these dogs, you know? I mean,
I actually saw the story about like a pizza delivery person in Detroit had to take out like 2 crazy people with a pistol she was carrying or what have you.
Yeah. Oh, there are people like that out there. But apparently someone had called animal services on the pit bull, but they didn't do anything because there was no evidence that the dog was dangerous or had done anything wrong. So, they just said, nothing wrong with the dog and left.
Mm-hmm.
Which is about the appropriate course of action.
Yeah. So, as John Lennon said, instant karma's gonna get you. When it comes to the cops, it doesn't seem to happen that often, but at least it's happened this once, and an innocent pit bull is saved by Deputy Fife's own incompetence.
Yeah. But hey, I guarantee you, next week we'll have a story about the cop going to, shooting up 15 puppies and destroying the house because it might have drugs or what have you.
Yeah.
Well, we already had the one about the kittens, so I don't know if anything's going to top that.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, God. What is a cat going to do to you?
I'm waiting for fish. I'm waiting for them to go after fish. The fish was coming right at me, man.
Yes, the goldfish was looking at me very funny. So
I'm waiting for them to go after
He was
Pet
going for a
Rock.
gun. Yeah. Pet Rock almost fell on me.
Exactly.
Pet Rock, that was more like a boulder. It told me to cover for ground.
People, man, just you give people unlimited power and what have you, and that's what happens. I know there are probably a lot of great cops who do everything right, but when you hear these stories, you're just like, you know what, man? I mean, just like...
It's an institutional problem. Sure, there are individuals who are not bad people, but the fact is, as an institution, they have way too many liberties that the rest of us simply don't have, and it's just a matter of their monopoly.
Monopolies are never good. They always end up bad.
Yeah.
Always have.
So after all that, who else were we going to name this week's
Idiot Extraordinaire?
Sorcerer.
Well,
a witch burner! Well, that wraps up this Flying Thompson's Gazelle of the Yard edition of the Bogosity podcast. Please visit the forums at bogosity.tv where you can read the show notes and join the discussion on these and other subjects. This podcast is free but not free to produce, so please donate via PayPal or Bitcoin at the top of the bogosity.tv website or down the right-hand side of the podcast page and give generously to keep this podcast going. And if you'd like to contribute to the podcast, just send a question, statement, news article, or rant to podcast@bogosity.tv. Put it in an audio file, and if it's good enough, it'll get played right in the podcast. Thank you for listening, and thanks again to my panelists for joining me.
hey, that's no problem.
Yeah, it definitely was a good one.
Until next time, here's a quote from Glenn Greenwald. The history of human knowledge is nothing more than the realization that yesterday's pieties are actually shameful errors. The Bogosity podcast is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivative 3.0 imported license.